Hi, this is Todd Doyle. Today I'd like to talk about violence, in particular the violence that we think we see in the martial arts. When I started my training over 25 years ago, I understand that I was a picked on, bullied guy. I didn't like athletes because they made fun of me, and the last thing I wanted was to be identified with them. But more importantly, I didn't want to be identified with my father. He was very abusive toward me, and this is the violence that I want to talk about. Violence in the home is something that can kill a child's spirit. It isn't just a physical blow that hurts. That pain will eventually go away, but it's the violence of words, emotions, and actions that can really scar a child. My father was very negative, and he was a very hurtful man. He couldn't see what he was doing, as I later found out. He would say things and do things that he thought would make me a man. And he even went to his father and tried to find out the things that he thought would make me a man. But my grandfather wasn't much help for him either. So he thought he was making me tough, and he thought he was making me into a man. And what he did, though, was turn me into the opposite. Someone who didn't want to grow up. He turned me into someone who's afraid to face the world. I was traumatized every time I failed at something. If it wasn't exactly right, then I was a failure. So when I started Kung Fu, I was very timid about sparring. I was very scared of it, actually. When I took my first blow, my teacher, Chris, stopped the match and asked me if I was okay. He was all concerned, afraid I was going to fall over. And I know I had a look of shock and fear on my face. I can still see Chris's face as he dropped everything and said, "Oh, you okay? You okay? You okay?" And I was like, "Uh-huh, uh-huh." He said, "All right, then put your gloves back on and let's go again." And I have to tell you, it was my worst nightmare. Sparring was my worst nightmare. Being hit in the face was my worst nightmare. I mean, being hit at all is a nightmare. But we wore pads and gloves, and I soon learned that I didn't die when I took a hit. I survived. Better yet, I learned that I could develop the skills to block a blow, to counter a kick. They called me the ice pick because I could do some real damage to your feet with my elbows. Thanks to Master Graham's help, I eventually learned to enjoy sparring. It became a sport for me, something I could do to prove to myself that I wasn't a child anymore, afraid of my father and his angry blows. I didn't have to hide anymore. I didn't have to cringe anymore. I didn't have to be afraid anymore. Now, I reject all violence. I reject the violence that mothers and fathers lay upon their kids. I reject the violence that lingers in words that are meant to crush the spirit of a child. I reject violence that harsh words can do to another person. What we say to one another as Christians can be so destructive and hurt our witness. We need to rethink what and who we represent. However, Jesus told his disciples, sell their cloaks and buy a sword. Why? Because preservation of the body is essential. You are well within your rights to defend yourself against attack. You are well within your rights to defend your family. You are protecting the body, the imago Dei, the image of God, when you're defending yourself. So defending yourself from harm is not against Scripture. Let's face it, there are evil people in the world. People who will do you harm. Be it that they want your wallet or purse, they will want to rape and abuse you, or they will want your life for refusing to follow their religion. They are evil. You are fully justified to stand up to them. You are well within your God-given rights to say, no, I will not let this happen. Isn't it wise and prudent to be prepared for that day? Isn't it wise and prudent to have conditioned your mind and body to respond, not in panic, but in a disciplined and controlled manner that allows you to defend yourself and your loved ones? Grandmaster Chi always said to avoid a fight if you can. He said it's better to have never fought than to win 1,000 battles. Think about that. He was a man who was accustomed to war during World War II. He knew his kung fu had to be good, otherwise he didn't survive. He was used to people trying to test and challenge him, and yet after the war, he became a man of peace, eschewing violence. One time while he was here during a trip, he wanted to show us a technique, but he decided not to because he was afraid that his demonstration partner would be hurt. So he merely described the technique to us and told us what it would do. He was that concerned about the welfare of others. He changed from a man of war to a man of peace. Peace and liberty come at a price, and it is a price of vigilance and prudent preparation for potential conflict that may come. In today's violent society, isn't it prudent to be prepared than unprepared? Wuzuquan can prepare you for the unknown, can build your confidence in yourself, can teach you that you can be at peace, while remaining vigilant and prepared. Find me on Facebook at Doyle's Elite Martial Arts or email me at 5ancestorfist@gmail.com. Subscribe to my channels for more videos, and remember, keep training.